Hello and welcome to a WFL breakdowns video. I am one of the coaches in the WFL and the commissioner, Winuvas of the New Orleans Saints at this point. Today is going to be a little bit of a different video than what I've been doing before. A lot of the videos I've done, the breakdown videos I've done so far, have been around rules, about going into detail about concepts and breaking down some rules that are easy to break down using like charts and spreadsheets and stuff that we do behind the scenes. This is one that's going to be a little different. We're going to talk about the word excessive in WFL and what that means for you as an owner. Now, this is one that I'm not going to have the rule book up for. I have a pretty good knowledge of the rule book. I helped write most of it, so hopefully I know most of it, So if you want to follow along in the rule book, I encourage you to open up section 3.1 or 3.2. Both offense and defense are going to get covered in this video, but we're going to cover the excessive rules and what exactly do we mean when we say excessive. What are we looking for when we want to try and see if excessive concepts have been broken, things of that nature. And I'm going to flip over and I'm going to be in the background for probably the rest of this video as I put up Madden. Here we go. So what I'm going to show off first is I'm going to show off defense first, because defense is going to be a little easier to explain than offense. So I'm going to flip over and I'm going to just call a random play. It doesn't really matter what I'm calling here, but here's where I want to break down defensive concepts. So obviously you're going to be calling plays out of a formation. So I'm going to go 4-3 just to kind of show off what we have available as far as concepts in the WFL. And hopefully most of the concepts will be covered right here in this base formation. Okay, so what you see here is a nice breakdown of, on the left side you see cover 3 sky, which is a zone play. You see weak slant 3, which is a cover 3 zone blitz. And then you see 4-3 normal cover 1 hole, which is a man cover 1 concept. If you look in the top left hand corner, you see where it says zone in blue, it says blitz in red, and it says man in orange. That is what we use to determine whether or not a play is zone, man, or blitz. Now, I am aware that there are some concepts that shift from zone to man, like cover 4. However, we go by play art and what the play shows there in the top left for all of our defensive diagram breakdowns as far as figuring out if someone has broken a concept rule. So right here you see on this very first page, these 3 plays, all of these are considered separate concepts in the WFL. One, the far left, is a cover 3 zone play where 4 men are rushing the passer and 7 guys are back in coverage. Okay, that is a zone play. That is a cover 3 zone play. You can call that play 25% of the time. Not that particular play, but cover 3 in general, that is a zone-based concept. You can call that 25% of the time. That means 1 out of every 4 plays you call can be a cover 3 zone play. The next play in the middle is a cover 3 zone blitz. That is a separate concept from cover 3. I want to reiterate that. That is a separate concept from the cover 3 zone because it's a zone blitz. So if you wanted to go a cover 3 team, you could call 25%. 1 out of every 4 plays could be a straight cover 3 zone, and then 25% of your plays could be a cover 3 zone blitz, and that would be 50% of the plays you call in a session would be cover 3 zone or zone blitz, but it would be a zone-based concept. And the reason we define that as such, and I'm going to go over more plays as we get through this, I'm going to show you all the concepts, but the reason we define it as such is because concepts in the NFL, there are a lot of teams that run heavy man or heavy zone, or some kind of zone blitz mix in, man blitz mix in. You have a lot of teams that are very heavy zone. So we want to allow that mentality, that defensive mentality in the WFL. But we do have the 70-30 rule in effect always, which means that no more than 70% of your play calls can be either man or zone. And within that number, 25% of your plays cannot be more than one concept, or more than 25% of your plays, cannot be of the same concept. So in other words, in 8 plays called, if I call 8 plays called would be 2 plays of cover 3 zone. If I only call 8 plays on defense, and 3 of them are strictly cover 3 zone, I've broken our excessive rule for 25% of play calls of one concept. Okay. Now the third one in this list, you see cover 1 hold. That is another separate concept from the first 2. So right here on this first page, 3 plays, you actually have 3 distinct properties that you can use as far as your coverage schemes on defense. Okay. And with those 3, you could call some type of concept that fits in this mold 75% of the time, 25% cover 3 zone, 25% cover 3 blitz, 25% cover 1 man, and then you just find something else to fill the other 25%, and that could be your defense going forward. As long as you don't break the 70-30 rule of 70%, no more than 70% of either man or zone. Okay, you can't go more than 70% man calls, nor can you go more than 70% zone calls. If you do, you will be found in violation of our rules as far as calling plays go on defense. I'm going to flip a page because we have some new concepts here. Now, 2 of these plays are the same concept. Tampa 2 on the left, cover 2 zinc on the right. Those are cover 2 zone plays. You have 4 down linemen rushing, and then you have people dropping back into coverage, 7 dropping back into coverage in various zones. Both of those plays count as cover 2 zone, okay? Both of those plays count as cover 2 zone. So if we were logging those plays and you called Tampa 2 one play, and then you called cover 2 sync the next play, those would both count as cover 2 zone for our 25% excessive rule. Now the middle play is different because you can see it's got blitz in the left corner. It is a non-4-man rush. You have a blitzer coming in. You have one of your outside linebackers coming in on the blitz. So therefore that is a cover 2 zone blitz. That is a different concept from cover 2 zone. Those 2 are distinct. Okay, in the WFL they are recognized as distinct. Flipping through, now you see cover 2 man, another distinct concept in the WFL. Cover 2 man is distinct from cover 2 zone. Cover 2 zone is distinct from cover 2 zone blitz. The middle play in this package is a cover 2 zone blitz because more than 4 guys are charging the line of scrimmage. If you ever have a question, look in the top left. If it says blitz, it's a blitz. If it says zone, it's a zone. Okay? Flipping through. Now this is the one that's going to cause a little controversy. The one on the left, cover 4 quarters, because I am aware in football, cover 4 simply means that the outside corners can flip to man coverage and match or drop back into deep zone as appropriate. However, while it works somewhat in Madden, we recognize that as a zone coverage play. So it is not cover 4 man, nor it is not cover 4 man as considered cover 4 zone. There is no cover 4 zone blitz. So therefore, cover 4 zone is a distinct concept, okay? And it is strictly zone, so it will count as a zone play for the 70-30 zone man rules. Again, I am aware that in Madden, these corners can flip to man coverage depending on what's going on, but for the purposes of play art, we recognize this as a zone play and a zone play only, okay? So that's key to know there. As we flip through, cover 9. Cover 9 is a distinct concept from cover 4, from cover 3, and from cover 2, and it is treated as a zone. Okay? Cover 9 and cover, if I can find one in here, I'm flipping through I just want to, cover 6, there's the other one. Cover 6, so I'm going to show that's the play on the left in here, cover 6. I'm going to flip back up 3 spots, and cover 9 are considered a joint concept, because essentially a cover 9, if you flip it, it's a cover 6. If you were look at the play art of this cover 9, and I flip over to cover 6, it's the same play art, just flip it. Okay, just about the same cover art. So therefore, that is the same play. Now there's one other distinct one, and there it is in the middle there, and that is the cover 0 zone blitz. Okay, or cover 0 zone blitz, cover 0 man blitz. Listen to me, cover 0 man blitz. Okay, that is another distinct concept in WFL as far as a defensive concept. The play on the right, the engage 8, that would be considered a zone 3 blitz. Okay, a zone 3 blitz. That's a zone blitz basically, because you're playing zone. You're only playing 3 in zone, so it'd be a cover 3 zone blitz, even though there's no other zones other than the deep 3. Okay, so be aware of that. Engage 8 counts as a cover 3 zone blitz. There's one other concept I want to show. There it is. The one on the left, cover 1 man blitz. Okay, cover 1 man blitz. And also there should be a cover 2 man blitz somewhere in here, I would think. Nope, maybe not. Okay. Thought there was going to be a cover. Now I'm flipping through plays again. All right. So the distinct concepts on defense that we recognize as unique concepts. Okay, and I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to flip to each play that represents it, at least in this formation. Be aware that this is obviously just one single formation. Any formation you call, if it falls under these rules and it looks like this play art, it's going to be considered that. So right here in the middle, the outside linebacker fire man, that is a cover 0 man blitz. You can see there is no deep safety help. Everyone is matched up man on a man, except for obviously the blitzers that are going, and you have more than 4 rushers, which means it's a blitz. That is a cover 0 man blitz. That is one unique WFL defensive concept. The next one on the right, cover 1 man coverage. Okay, cover 1 man coverage. That means you have one safety over the top. And you have basically everybody else pretty much playing man on man except for one other player. Sometimes it's the safety, sometimes it's the middle linebacker that is playing some type of spy type cover, zone coverage. Okay, I say the word spy, but it's not actually in spy. They're just basically playing that under coverage. Okay, we have. Let me find my cover 1 blitz because that's important to show as well. There we go. Cover 1 sting weak, the one on the play on the left, that is considered a cover 1 man blitz. That is a third unique concept in WFL as far as defensive concepts, okay? So that is a third one. So we have so far cover 0 man blitz. We have cover 1 man. We have cover 1 man blitz. And now we get to cover 2 as I find a cover 2 play. We'll start with a, there we go. On the left-hand side, you see cover 2 man. That is a cover 2 man concept, another unique concept. The play right next to it, 2 deep gap shoot. That is a cover 2 zone blitz scheme. Another unique concept in WFL as far as defense goes. The play on the left or the play on the right, so either Tampa 2 or cover 2 sync qualify as cover 2 zone coverage, which is another unique concept in WFL. Cover 3 zone, cover 3 sky on the left-hand side is considered a cover 3 zone blitz. Or not, sorry, it's cover 3 zone, no blitz. That's just cover 3 zone. Okay, so that's a unique concept. And then weak slant 3, which is the play next to it, that is a cover 3 zone blitz, another unique concept. Then we have, let me find cover 4. Cover 4 quarters in this particular formation. This is an example of a cover 4 defense. It is considered zone. Again, I know that these can flip to man concepts in Madden and will based on matchups and what's going on in the play. But for play art purposes and what we consider in the WFL, this is considered a zone play regardless of how the cornerbacks react in the game for the play. So do be aware of that. And then the final thing we consider a unique concept is the cover 9/cover 6. They are basically the same coverage, so we group them together. But cover 9, which is the play there on the left-hand side that you see, and then I think cover 6 was a couple of spots down. There's cover 6 right there. That is both considered the same concept. So that's one of your concepts. So starting from, I'm going to list them all off. So here we go. Cover 0, man blitz. Cover 1, man. Cover 1, man blitz. Cover 2, man. Cover 2, zone. Cover 2, zone blitz. Cover 3, zone. Cover 3, zone blitz. Cover 4, zone. Cover 6/cover 9, zone. Believe that was 11. That's 11 different concepts. Okay, and each one of them you cannot call more than 25% of plays per game in the WFL on defense. Okay, that's what excessive means on defense. And do remember that even though each concept counts for at most 25% of your plays, you still have to abide by the overriding 70-30 rule, which means that no more than 70% of your defensive play calls can be zone, or no more than 70% of your plays on defense can be man coverage, and that includes man blitz as well. The 70% zone counts zone blitz as well. So when we look at the 70-30 rule violation, any play where you call zone blitz counts as a zone because it's zone plus blitz. Any play you call man in blitz, it's man plus a blitz. So keep that in mind. Another rule that I want to specify on defense to kind of make it something else to think about, you cannot blitz more than 40% of your plays. So 4 out of every 10 plays no more than 4 out of every 10 plays on defense can be blitzes, whether they're man or zone. Okay? And that's based off of, at the time, it would have been 2019, 2020 numbers. As far as blitzes, the most blitzing team in the league at that time blitzed 37% of the time. So we made the number 40 to make it easier to remember, just to give you an idea where that number comes from. Okay? If we get shown different statistics that say teams are blitzing more or blitzing less, we will adjust accordingly. Okay? But for now, that is the rule on defense. And I wanted to go through defense first because even though that was a lot to go through, that was by far the easier one to show, because now, let me go ahead and just call a play here. And I'm going to call timeout to go back to show offense. All right? I'm just in practice mode. So, concepts. This is where it's going to get a little tougher to kind of break it down. So, concepts. We also count runs in this. So, this is basically what we're looking at. Counters, draws, sweeps, traps, whams, end arounds, jet sweeps, inside zones, ISOs, power, outside zone. So you can see there's a lot of different run concepts in this. This is the New Orleans Saints default playbook, by the way. I'm not using a custom playbook in this. Excuse me, I'm simply just showing you all the concepts that are available. Each one of these, you could conceivably do 25% of your total plays called on offense. Okay? Each one of these. So when we look at plays, now normally we don't focus too much on run, to be fair. Most violations of offensive concepts will be on the passing side, but I wanted to show you the run just to show you that there are a lot of different ways you can run the football in Madden as far as concept wise. And if it becomes an issue as far as you're running the same type of play, like let's say you just run ISO every down, every run you do is an ISO, that's going to be an issue. Okay, you have to break up your runs a little bit, run some different types of concepts, but each one of these counts as a concept. Runs I'm not as concerned about as a league. I don't think that's going to be a huge issue unless we just have people breaking our running with integrity rules, which will be a separate video in and of itself. But do be aware that these are considered separate concepts for run plays as well. But the one I'm mainly concerned about is the passing plays. So just in quick pass alone, these are some different types of concepts you can see. And the nice part about it is if you wanted to educate yourself, you can go through these and see what types of things you should be looking for these concepts. Like slant is pretty easy. Hey, it's slants. Duh. Hitches. Anything like spacing and things like that would be considered a hitch route, okay? Ohio. Dagger routes, dig routes, things of that nature. That's Ohio routes. Omaha, out routes. Okay, scats, where you have a player running a hitch and then you have a run a flat route underneath. Okay, spacing, separate concept. Okay, separate from hitch, even though I said that was a spacing play. Most spacing plays are usually those short hitch routes, but there is plays specifically called spacing that will be under that spacing concept. And then stick routes, and then you go back to slants. Medium passes, you got smash routes, mesh, choice routes where it's option play, curl routes, double moves, drive, levels, one of my personal favorite concepts, pivot, Salem, shake, shallow cross, slot cross, spot, smash. There's all kinds of stuff. I think I went through a couple of those already. And then deep passes, you got switch, flood, verticals, comebacks. So there's a lot of different passing concepts. But I do want to say one thing about how we're going to look at passing on offense, as far as making sure those offensive concepts are abided by. And personally, what I'm going to look at as a gameplay person, just to give you my personal insight on it, is, let me find a play. So, like, for example, the play on, let's talk about both passing plays here. The first one on the left, stick route. That's going to be in the stick concepts. Okay, that's basically going to be a stick route. There's lots of plays in the playbook that are listed like Y stick or just stick itself. Anything that's listed as stick is going to be considered a concept. So if you run a bunch of stick routes and you don't run enough of other types of passing concepts, that will probably be a dock against you. Another one, play action is kind of an obvious one. So anything with play action in the name is going to count as a play action pass. but anytime I see cross in the play art or in the play name, I am personally going to count that as a crossing route, and a crossing route is a concept. Okay, I do not want to see in the WFL nothing but crossing routes every third down. That if that starts happening, you guys are going to really feel the wrath of me, and that's not going to be a fun wrath to have. Okay, crossing routes are going to be limited to 25% of play calls. That's plenty enough. That's really honestly too much, but that's the rule we have in place. So anything with the word cross in it, and by the way, you will have to, and I know this is the case in a lot of other leagues, make you show your previous play art. So for a lot of these, we'll be able to see the names of the plays you call. So we will know what play you call, and this is how we'll be breaking it down. So like that one would be not only play action, but also a crossing route. It would count against both play action and crossing routes for that play. Play action boot slide, that's another concept. Corner stops would probably count as curls. Bench, there's a lot of plays called bench. That would be a concept in and of itself. Okay, then we're back at stick because there ain't a lot of plays in there. But there's another stick play right there. So you can see how these concepts kind of come back. Anytime you see like the name of your route in the name of the play, consider that a concept. Okay, if that makes any sense. So like for example, play action boot comeback. First off, it's play action. Second off, it's a boot play, which is going to be another concept. And then third is going to be comeback. So that's a lot of concepts all in one. So you got to be real careful with plays that kind of combine concepts because that may limit your ability to do other things later in the game. But just be aware that anytime you see kind of names that stick out in multiple plays, to me that's a concept. Okay? To me that's a concept. So like this one, play action post, wide cross. That's a crossing route. Okay? Post wheel shallow, that's a wheel route. So wheel plays. Okay? Now it's not going to be an exact science in year one as we polish up how we're going to really break down these things. So this is kind of my tutorial video for you guys as to what I'm going to be personally looking for when I analyze plays. If I have to analyze game film, which hopefully I don't, not on a regular basis. I will do it on a case-by-case basis, and usually I keep eyes on leadership as well as my gameplay guru in particular, because the person that's enforcing the rules of gameplay and bringing forth rules violations of gameplay to my Players Association folks that vote on punishments, I want them to be of the highest integrity when they present their findings. So I'm going to be personally overseeing their play a little bit more than most others, and that's probably most of the film I watch is leadership, but mainly gameplay guru, because the guy that is responsible for watching your videos, watching your playbacks, and judging you guys on if you are breaking the rules. If they're breaking the rules, then how can they hold you accountable? That hopefully makes some sense. But for now, I'm just kind of flipping through. So just look when you're calling plays, when you're looking at plays to add to the playbook, if you see plays with a similar name, even on the run side, but mainly I'm thinking more of this tutorial on the passing side. If you see the name of a particular type of route, like for example, verts, okay, verts, verticals, okay, verts or verticals, same thing. Also, you have a dig in there, so there's lots of plays that have lots of different names in them. If you see that name in other plays as well, assume that's a concept. So like verts and dig. So I would go into play action, verticals, and dig, okay? And yes, that can get kind of limiting possibly, but for the most part, like for example, like tight end attack, that's a post play. Okay, that's just going to be a post play because the tight end is the main target, and that's going to be a post pattern to the tight end. That's what I would personally call that. So there will be some plays that don't fall really under a nice umbrella like what I'm talking about with, for example, curl combo. That one's pretty easy. That's curls. Duh. Okay, but most plays will have the name in there, like for example, play action boot. That's a boot play and play action as well. All right. Close play action cross, another crossing route. Sail routes. There's lots of sail routes in the game, so, or lots of plays with sail in the name. That's a concept, okay? So just kind of get in the mindset, Z spots, spacing. If you see those play art, the names in multiple formations, if you see the same name, assume that's a concept, okay? And that by that means that you cannot call that play more than 25% of the time. Okay, so if you've got some plays that you kind of rely on and they all happen to be the same name, be very careful how you distribute those play calls going out and going forward in the WFL as far as offensively speaking. And the way these rules are designed, the reason they're designed this way is to allow flexibility as far as offensively and defensively, and allow some creativity, but at the same time making sure that we as a group make sure that we are adhering to calling different plays at different times and making sure we're using our entire playbook. I don't want to get to a point as a league where we're saying you can only do this play X times per game, where X is a set number like 4 or 5 or 6. I don't want to get to that point. The rules are written in such a fashion to allow teams that maybe pass more to be more creative and allow them more options to throw the ball around, to do more screen passes, to do more stick routes, to do more spot routes, and things of that nature. I don't want to ever get to a point in the league where we're saying you can't throw more than you can't execute, say, a spot play more than 3 times a game. That's just an example because I'm looking at the spot play right now on the left-hand side. I don't want to ever get to that level in WFL or any league I'm a part of, because that really limits your creativity. Because if I'm on defense and I'm paying attention to your play art and I know you've called the flank or some type of spot play the maximum number of times you're allowed to call in a game, guess what I know is not coming the rest of the game unless you want to get a nice little fat gameplay report. That particular play, whether it's spot or play action or whatever. So I want to make sure that you guys understand. Hopefully this video helps kind of break it down a little bit. I know the offensive side's a little rough. The offensive side, honestly, is a new thing for WFL to track. We track defense a ton in the previous incarnation of WFL. That's why I can break that one down so succinctly, and that's why I did it first, because it's really easy for me to break it down, because that's one that's easy to spot, it's easy to see the play art, it's easy to recognize, and it's easy to count it up. Offense is going to be a lot tougher, to be fair and honest with you and transparent, but at the same time, what I'm going to be looking for, and hopefully by my gameplay guys watching this, hopefully what they'll be looking for is they'll be looking for those plays with those names in it, and they'll be kind of logging those names like spot, like curls, like fork, because there's a lot of fork plays, sail plays, things of that nature. Excuse me. And hopefully that will help us get better as a league as far as calling different types of plays in different situations and making sure we're using a lot of our playbook, okay? And if it gets to the point where it is too strict, we'll come back and revisit it, because the rule book is ever changing. It can modify itself depending on the needs of the league. So if we find we're too strict on offense, maybe we need to open it up a little bit, change some wording, change some ways we view things. We will be open to change, but just be aware that for the time being, the way I'm viewing offensive concepts and the excessive rule around it, the 25% rule, is basically if you flip around your playbook and you see that name in a lot of spots, like for example curl post drag, I would call that a curl concept because your primary receiver's on the curl. Okay, smash concept is a dual receiver concept, the one on the right here in single back weak stag, that smash play. That's a dual receiver route, so that's one that I would just consider smash as a concept. But if it's something like a combo, like where you see curl post drag, personally speaking, if I'm grading that, I'm saying it's a curl because the primary receiver is a curl. Okay, but watching the tape, if I see that curl post drag get called and I see the drag get thrown a lot, or if I start noticing a trend of that drag being the main focus of the quarterback or the person throwing that route, then I'm going to consider it a drag. And if I see too many drags, guess what? You're going to get knocked, even though curl post drag. So some of this is going to be hard, fast, lockdown. This is the way we're going to look at it. And some of it will be ebb and flow of game, watching the film. If you guys are throwing too many drags, too many crossing routes, which I've specifically stated in the rules, crossing routes are in that 25% range. But if I start watching gameplay or hearing about gameplay where guys are running mesh concepts, which mesh would be in that 25% rule as well. But if I see plays like that curl post drag where my guy that's playing that's thinking, oh, well, the gameplay guys are just looking at that as a curl, I'll just throw the drag all game and call that play. Newsflash. If you call the play, first off, you've called too many plays of that nature. And secondly, if you throw it too many times, gameplay guys and myself are going to call you out for drags, and in which case you're still going to get dinked. So just be aware of what route you're throwing. Make sure you're using your entire route tree on offense. Don't just sit and rely on 2 or 3 quote-unquote money routes, because we all know there's money routes in Madden. We know it. I know it. You know it. don't think I'm not dumb, that I'm that dumb that I don't know that, okay? If you make me make rules about it, I will. I don't want to. I want this to be a more free, creative league and allow you to express yourself offensively and defensively. But if you make me take that away from you and you make leadership take that away from you, I will do so. Okay? I don't want to have that big black cloud hanging over. So let's do a job. Let's do a good job as a league policing ourselves, making sure that we're holding each other accountable. And maybe if we're just like 1 or 2 off, like let's say, it's 26 or 27% the first couple of games on offense, let's just be gentlemen with each other and just kind of say, hey, look, notice this in our game. You threw a couple extra drags that you shouldn't have. Maybe you want to look at that for next game. All right. Let's give each other a little bit of leeway, but at the same time, if it's stupidly excessive, like, getting close to 50% of plays, at that point, that's a no. Okay. I'm willing, personally speaking, okay, and I realize this kind of goes against the rules I have in play a little bit, but at 25%, if you are like one play off of 25%, even as the person who's grading you, I'll probably give you a pass if everything else looks good, if that makes sense. Oh, hold on a second. My phone's ringing. Sorry, some real life happened there. Wife called. So, not that you needed to know that. But anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought now. Basically about just the first couple of games, let's be hard but lenient on each other, if that makes sense. Let's judge each other, especially these first couple of games. Let's judge each other based on the rules of the 25% rule. But let's not be so quick to jump to our gameplay gurus unless you deem it harshly excessive. Because, like I said, when I watch any sort of tape, unless it's something A, something egregious, or B, just over the top excessive. If it's like one off, like if you call like 20 pass plays, as that's kind of my number example I use in all my stuff. If you call 20 pass plays and you call like 6 play actions instead of 5. I'm willing to give it to you unless you're calling like the exact same play action play every single time, or if it's like crosses every single time, then I'm going to be less lenient on you. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So just be mindful of when you call plays of a certain concept, make sure you're varying up your formations. Make sure you're varying up when you call stuff. Don't just call the same crossing route or a crossing route every third down. Don't call a corner route every third down. Don't call bunch formation every third down. Okay? I want to have these rules be as open as possible to allow you guys to have more fun and more freedom, both on offense and defense. But if a good group of people, enough of you cause enough issues to make us be harder on the rule set, we will, and we'll do it without hesitation. Okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to actually come back on camera here. Hopefully that helps break down what we mean in WFL with excessive. This video is a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but it needed to be done a little bit because I wanted to go over these things and make sure, hopefully, that you understand them a little better after watching this video. And again, with the offensive side, just to kind of clarify, this is something that's still brand new to us. We didn't track offensive concepts before. This is going to be the first match we're going to try and do it. So it's not going to be a perfect science right out of the gate. So bear in mind that we're going to be growing and learning just like you guys are in this fashion. That is why we have a players association. That's why we have a 3-member group that's going to basically oversee all these things, because we're going to present our findings to them, and maybe they'll look at it and go, you know what, I don't see that that's that big of a deal. Let it go, or just a warning, something like that, along those lines. And that's why we have the Players Association in place, is so that way we're not so harsh as leadership, and we don't look like we're the bad guys on leadership. We present our findings, and they basically let us know what kind of punishment needs to be dealt out, and we take care of the punishment side of it. So we have ways in place to protect owners from getting over the top of it, but at the same time, just be aware of your play calls, especially on offense, especially with passes. I think that's going to be the biggest thing with the league as a whole, is going to be the passing game. We all know those money plays, those money shots, as far as different routes, and the crossing route is ridiculously overpowered unless you are just an elite level user, and there are very few of us out there that are elite level users. And I realize that some routes are more powerful and bad than they are in real life due to pass rush and things of that nature. Hopefully, with the stuff we have in place as far as abilities and things of that nature, that'll help. But ultimately, this video is about the excessive concept and what we mean by excessive. And just to kind of really quickly reiterate, because now the video is going ridiculously long, no more than 25% of your play calls in certain instances. On defense, it's basically every type of formation except for the cover 6, cover 9. They're united in one. So anything you see in the book on defense that's unique, it counts as that concept, no matter what formation it's in. Okay, so basically look at the play art. If it looks the same in another formation, it's the same play. It's the same concept. Okay, that's basically how it breaks down. On offense, it's going to be a little murkier. We'll kind of be treading the water a little bit, maybe kind of skirting more gray area there, which I don't care for gray area. But unfortunately, on offense, it will be some gray area. But just be smart. Just be smart and don't make us make rules. That's basically the best way I can put it. I like the rule set the way it is because I do feel like it allows you to have more freedom. If you want to run a 3, 4, 5 wide receiver offense, you're able to do so in the WFL. If you want to run shotgun a good bit of the time, you're able to do so in the WFL. There are leagues that restrict some of that. We're trying not to. We're trying to kind of let you guys have a little bit more free reign than maybe other leagues allow, but we will pull the reins back if we have to. It just depends on how Madden's playing out and ultimately how you guys deal with this freedom. Because usually whenever you get a lot of freedom, usually you do some crazy stuff. And when you do crazy stuff, then we have to put in more rules to prevent this crazy stuff from happening. And then creativity starts coming down. People start complaining because now they have more rules to worry about. And it just becomes a headache for everybody, not just leadership, but even members. And I don't want it to get to that. So hopefully this helps explain the excessive concepts, our view behind it, my personal view behind it, so that way my leadership team can get on par with how I view things from a gameplay standpoint. So that way we can all be on the same page together and we can kind of move forward with it, okay? So for that, I'm going to end it here right at about close to 40 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you watched this far, I'll put some links down below to the gameplay rules so basically section 3.1 and 3.2 of the WFL rulebook will be linked below this video. And if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to a member of league leadership or myself. And until the next video comes out, I am Coach Winuvas / Commissioner Winuvas of the WFL / New Orleans Saints. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.